Welcome, everyone, to Task Arena. Time for Hobbs Eagle basketball. Live on the radio at Cool 95.7, on the internet, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and, of course, the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Ty Friend here with you tonight as the Hobbs Eagles get ready to take on the Roswell Coyotes at Tasker Arena. It's the second half of the district schedule. Of course, Roswell, Clovis on Friday, and then wrap up next week with a home game against Carlsbad. So the Eagles will have two of their last three games at home, and that will be a good situation for them to see what their seeding will be at the district tournament and then hopefully on to state, as the Eagles did now lose a heartbreaker on the past week with Carlsbad. That was an overtime loss on the road, 52-46 the final. Teams were tied at 42 at the end of regulation. Hobbs Eagles scoring 11 in the fourth quarter, and Carlsbad only had 4 points. So Hobbs will be getting together in that fourth to tie it up. Unfortunately, though, we're outscored by a total of 10 for Carlsbad in that game, and the Eagles only had 4 in the overtime. So difference there of a few to get the win for the K-Men. Are now perfect 3-0 in district. The Hobbs Eagles dropped to 2-1. Look at the numbers in that game last week. The top scorer for the Eagles was Josiah Clay. He's had a string of some good scoring contests for the Eagles, 15 points and 8 rebounds. So he was working on a double-double in that ball game, and definitely has been a mainstay when it comes to scoring for the Eagles. A couple other guys scoring in double figures. Braddock Beatty finished with 12 points. He was 5 of 6 from the charity stripe. Also had 3 rebounds to his name. And Malachi David also finished with 12 points. He had 2 3-pointers and 3 rebounds. So those 3 guys combining for 42 of the Hobbs Eagle 46 points. So not much bench help for the rest of the squad in that ball game. Lyric Story had a couple of trays for 6, and Jadarius Lowe 1 for 2 on the line for 1 point. Only 5 guys in the scorebook for the Hobbs Eagles. In terms of 3-point shots, both teams hitting 5 in that game, so even in that category. Hobbs shooting 64% from the free throw line, 11 of 17, and Carlsbad doing quite well, 12 of 15 from the stripe for 80%. Hobbs had 1 less turnover than Carlsbad, 12 versus 13. But the rebounds, pretty much the K-Men owning the glass, 28-18 in the rebound category. So that pretty much the difference in the ball game. Plus they had 6 scorers compared to the Eagles' total of 5. So again, 52-46 overtime win for the Carlsbad Cavemen. They did have some double-digit scoring from Shane Sullivan, 17 points, and Z Huerta with 15. Those 2 guys combined for 32 of their total. So with that loss, Eagles 2-1 in district, and they're starting that second half of the district schedule, so they are ready for this Roswell High Coyotes team. So far in the district, the Roswell Coyotes lost to Clovis this past Friday, 57-54 in overtime, so a 3-point loss. Of course, the Eagles beat Clovis earlier this season by 28 here at Task Arena, so that's a big difference between the 2 teams that played against Clovis. Now the Clovis-Roswell matchup again went to OT, and Clovis picking up the 3-point win. Very close game, low scoring in the first half. Roswell was up 7-6 in the first quarter end, and at halftime up 23-11. But Clovis outscored them in the second half, 46-31. So 15 more points than what the Roswell squad had to get the win for Clovis. That was in Clovis, by the way. The Wildcats had 5 trays converted in the game, 15 of 21 from the free throw line. And Roswell had 7 trays, 2 more in the losing cause. 5 of those 7 were coming from Sombrano, one of their best scorers on the team, Jeremy Sombrano. In fact, he had 11 points in the second quarter for Roswell, and he definitely was lighting it up. 3 of those buckets were trays, so 9 of his 11 points coming from that perimeter arc. So Sombrano definitely a guy the Eagles got to be watching out for. Played well against them in Roswell as well. So that kind of gives you a taste of what was going on for both of those teams. In terms of scoring in the contest, Jeremy Sombrano finished with 23 for Roswell in that overtime loss. He was the only guy in double digits. In fact, big drop-off in scoring after him. Jason Flores had 7 points. He was the second leading scorer. Abram Lopez finished with 6. And DeBryce Ashung with 5, Trey Barola, the coach's son, with 4. So not a lot of big-time scoring for Roswell, despite the big numbers from Jeremy Sombrano, once again with 23. On the Clovis side of the coin, they got Ethan Ontiveros finishing with 26 points in that game, and Jaden Tapia with 10, so 2 in double digits for the Clovis Wildcats. So that kind of gets you the picture of what's going on at this point. That was the first win for Clovis in the district. Carlsbad sits atop of the district standings at 3-0. They're averaging 60.3 points a game, only giving up 52, so they have the best defense in the district so far. The Hobbs Eagles had the best scoring offensively, 63.3 points a contest in the 3 games that they played so far, and giving up 55, which is second best for defense. Clovis coming in at number 3 with a 1-2 record. They're averaging 54.6 points a game. That's third in the district, but giving up 65, which is the worst at this point in time. And the team the Eagles playing tonight, Roswell, sitting at 0-3. They're averaging 57 points a game, which is third best in the district, and giving up 63, which is third best as well, despite being in the 4th spot in terms of record once again at 0-3. In fact, Roswell overall 11-12 on the season, so they're under 500 right now. And you got to kind of look at their youth and inexperience on this squad. In fact, they have got 5 sophomores on their roster so far and 3 freshmen. So they've got a lot of youngsters trying to learn the game a little bit. Only 1 senior, and that's Tony Serrano. He is not the leading scorer, though. That's Jeremy Sombrano, who is a junior. He's got 1 more season as a Coyote. The other junior, a couple other juniors, Abram Lopez and Gabe Cordero, plus Lash Cheadle. Now, the big question about Lash Cheadle, he had a great game against the Hobbs Eagles last week in Roswell, the game that the Eagles won by 2 points, thanks to Javen Hernandez hitting that clutch shot at the buzzer. Hobbs winning that one again by the bucket, 68-66. Lash Cheadle was lighting it up, though, for Roswell. He finished with 27 points and 4 3-pointers, plus 4 rebounds for the Coyotes, the leading scorer for both teams. But he did not play against Clovis on Friday, and his team did lose in that overtime. So the question is whether he'll be out there tonight, and we'll have to wait and see here when the rosters are finalized here in just a minute. Jeremy Sombrano scored well against Hobbs, 16 in that game that the Eagles won. He had 2 3-pointers, and then that was about it for the double-digit scores for Roswell in their 2-point loss. For the Hobbs Eagles in that game just last week, big-time scoring for Josiah Clay, 21 points and 7 rebounds. He was perfect on the line against the Coyotes at 5 for 5. It was also Braddock Beatty with 17 points. He had a tray for the Eagles in that one. Lyric Soria had 14 with 4 trays in the contest. And Malachi David, the other guy in double digits, he had 10 points, a tray, 1 for 1 on the line, and 9 rebounds. So 1 rebound shy of a double-double. So Eagles had some good balanced scoring for their starters in double figures. Hobbs perfect on the line, 8 for 8 in that game, and hit 6 trays in the contest. Roswell able to get 9 3-pointers and still lost to the Eagles by the 2. Rebounding situation, it was 26 for the Eagles in the game, as they did win the battle of the boards, only 19 for Roswell, so 7 more rebounds. And when the Eagles out-rebounded the other opponent, they definitely get the W's. That's been consistent throughout the season. Hobbs had 15 turnovers in the game against Roswell, and for the Coyotes, they were 5 less than Hobbs with 10, but still the Eagles got the win in that ball game. So it was a back-and-forth affair. Again, Javen Hernandez, basically what happened, the ball gets thrown from behind half court, from out of bounds near the scores table, sailed towards the middle of the paint. Kind of a battle in the middle of the paint there. Malachi David was battling a Roswell player. Ball got tipped out to Javen, and a little less than 1 second was able to shoot the J up, and it went through the hoop, a swish, and the win as the clock expired. So great job for him to get the stroke through. He is also starting tonight. Proby has been out. He did not play in the last game against Carlsbad. I was told he had a knee injury, but I don't see him on the roster tonight, or he's not down on the court as well to support the team. So I'm not sure what the situation is at this point, but I did hear he had a knee injury. I have not seen him on the court here tonight yet. Not in the roster book, as I mentioned, so hopefully he gets himself recovered and back to the squad as soon as possible. So the Hobbs Eagles ready to play the Roswell Coyotes tonight. And if you take a look at some of the numbers over the last few weeks of basketball, as they turn off the lights here, completely nailing my numbers at this point. But Braddock Beatty will be a starter, Malachi David. You got Lyric Soria, also Josiah Clay, and Javen Hernandez getting his second start back-to-back for the Hobbs Eagles. Hobbs has had some good success in scoring in the district in the 3 games that they've played so far, with a lot of guys in double digits, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute as we try to get the lights back on here at Task Arena. Hobbs versus Roswell, Game 4 of the district schedule coming up. We'll be back in 2 minutes on the Hobbs Eagle Network. We're back at Task Arena, the Hobbs Eagle fight song being played here at the home court tonight as your Hobbs Eagles get ready to take on the Roswell Coyotes. Hobbs at 14-9 overall, 2-1 in district. The Coyotes at 11-12 and 0-3 in district. If you take a look at the district numbers so far this season in the 3 games the Eagles have played against Carlsbad, Roswell, and Clovis, top scorer at this point, Josiah Clay. He is averaging 16 points a game and 5.6 rebounds. So his numbers going up offensively, and so is the glass work for him as well. He is shooting 72% from the charity stripe in the last 3 games. Also averaging 14.3 points a contest against the district foes is Braddock Beatty. Also 4 rebounds a game. He is shooting 75% from the free throw line. 14 points for Malachi David. He is averaging 5.7 rebounds a contest, which is lower than his average on the season. He's been hovering between 7 and 8 throughout the regular season, but right now 5.7. So he definitely wants to pick up his stature there on the glass tonight. He is 50% from the charity stripe so far. And another score for the Eagles, Lyric Soria, averaging 9 points against the district. He's averaging 3 rebounds as well, and perfect on the charity stripe, although not shooting a lot of free throws yet. 2 for 2 from the line for 100%. So those are your top 4 scorers for the Hobbs Eagles on the starting numbers so far in the district schedule. Hobbs has been out-rebounded in the 3 games, 77-83, so 6 less than their opponents, but do have a better job of taking care of the basketball. 31 turnovers compared to 46 for their opponents. That's 15 less. And shooting better on the free throw line than Carlsbad, Clovis, and Roswell. Hobbs at 70%. Their 3 opponents averaging together 57%. So a feather in the cap with Coach Ronald Ross in this squad. And stat numbers looking pretty good at this point. Only the area they would like to improve on definitely is the rebounding. And when they get that taken care of this season, that's when they get the W's packed in for the Eagles. In terms of the season numbers now for Hobbs, their leading scorer, Malachi David, averaging 14.3 points a game, 7.7 in the rebounding category, and shooting 79% from the charity stripe. He's also second on the team in 3-point shots with 29 behind Lyric Soria. Second leading scorer is Lyric, 12.8 a game, 2.7 rebounds, shooting 88% from the charity stripe, the best of the team, and first in 3-point shots at 54. Josiah Clay right behind him, averaging 12.6 points a game, 4.4 rebounds, which is second best on the squad, shooting 69% from the charity stripe, and has 11 three-pointers. So those guys really stepping up big. Also, Braddock Beatty averaging 11.2 points a game, 3.6 rebounds, shooting 63% from the charity stripe, and currently sitting at 3rd on the team for 3-point shots with 17. And the other starter tonight, Javen Hernandez, he is averaging 2.6 points a game, 3.6 rebounds, shooting 57% from the line, and has 4 three-pointers. Hobbs is a team on the line, 67% this season. They have 137 three-point shots converted. That's averaging 6 made three-pointers a game. Good numbers for Hobbs. Their points overall, 61.3 a contest, and only giving up 54. So about 6 more points than their opponents, 6.6 to be exact. And in district, Hobbs is averaging 63.3 points, giving up 55.3, so 8 more points than their 3 opponents just in the district schedule alone. So Hobbs really going to be watching out for Sombrano. He has been their best scorer. Of course, he mentioned that he did have 16 against the Eagles last week. And Sombrano also managed 19 when they lost to Carlsbad 64-51, so a 13-point loss in that game last week as well. Sombrano finishing with 23 against the Clovis Wildcats on Friday. So we're ready for some action. I don't see Cheadle out there, so he's a guy that had 27 against the Eagles last week for Roswell. He's been out 2 games now. The tip into the backcourt for Malachi David. The starters for Roswell, Tony Serrano, Jeremy Sombrano, Andrew Fuentes, DeBryce Ashung, and Trey Barola. Pass up top to the Eagles, Braddock Beatty. Nice little head fake, drives to the right block, fires up a J off the side of the rim, no good. And they're kind of a battle for Roswell, tossing and turning with each other. Trey Barola finally comes down with it, his first rebound. Throws it across the top line to Sombrano, gets it back, does Barola. Goes to the right block, spinning against David, stays in the pivot, kicks it behind him to Sombrano in the right corner. Guarded by Hernandez, crossover, spin, fadeaway jumper, right block, clinks out the front of the rim, no good. Rebound in the front of the rim, tipped up by Ashun, can't get it to drop, and in the right baseline for the Eagles, finally coming up with it Josiah Clay, his first rebound. Sends it ahead to Soria. Back up top to Clay. Kick it left wing. Malachi David, hippity hop, left block. It's tied up by two players. Ooh, the referee calls it travel. Ball was being held by the two Roswell defenders that time. They called it travel. It looked like Barola and Zambrano both had hands on the basketball, but that will be a jump, and that will be the turnover for the Hobbs Eagles, their first of the ball game. Ball comes in batted to Fuentes, throws it across hard to Zambrano, fakes an NBA three from the right wing, but Hernandez steps out. Screen applied by Barola, dribble to the free throw line, back it into Zambrano, lost the ball in the lane. Hernandez diving to the floor on his stomach to try to strip it from him. And they call another jump, but it will be Roswell basketball to retain possession. Boy, Hernandez putting his body on the line. Of course, he's been dealing with that knee injury this season. What an excellent winning shot against Roswell last week on the road. Roswell basketball right baseline, quick inbound right corner to Ashung. Sends it back up the far right sideline to Fuentes. Kick it down right corner to Zambrano. Spin move, comes around the circle though, and back out to the sideline right. Fires up an NBA three after a screen for Barola off the back of the rim. Tipped around. David will try to chase it. It's saved by Roswell on the right baseline, but he ricochets it off. That was Zambrano knocking it off Clay to be out of bounds on the right baseline. Hobbs Lady Eagles are on the road tonight in Roswell, trying to make their 4-0 district record. Inbound Ashung on the right corner, dribbles baseline, kick it to the right corner once again to Barola. Crossover against David, puts his shoulder down, turns and fires his shot off balance off the back of the rim. Another big-time rip-down rebound on the right block for the Eagles, and that is the second one. And now we got a drive down the lane and a foul. Josiah Clay ran into his defender after the nice rebound, went to the rack with it right side of the lane and picks up the charge. First on Clay. First on the team, the Eagles, and the second turnover already here in the first quarter. We still have a score on the board. Half-court inbound to Serrano, now in the front court right wing as he hands it off behind to Barola. Back it in against the defender who just checked in, Jadarius Lowe. Fadeaway jumper middle of the paint, clinks off the front of the rim, and Lowe gets a rebound for the Eagles. Bounces into Soria at the timeline. Lowe's first board. Soria's going to set up the offense patiently as he gets defended by Zambrano coming across the timeline. Unloads to Clay on the right wing, near sideline. Kicks it back up top. Soria thought about a three, dribbles through his legs over to Hernandez on the left wing to move the 3-2 zone. Over to Clay on the right wing. Cross court left to Lowe. Kick it left side again, Hernandez. Up top to Soria. Back to Hernandez. Fires a three from the left wing off the back of the rim. Tipped to the free throw line. David comes down with it. Tries to send it back to Soria at the time stripe. He had to jump in the air to save it. Right to Clay on the right block. Turns and fires off the glass and count it. Rolls around the rim and drops through in the foul. Clay with his first bucket. And Roswell going to get the foul on top of that. That's their first team foul. That'll be against Trey Barola, his first, and a chance for a three-point play for Soria. Eagles have the first bucket of the game, 2-0 here. Soria shooting 100% in district, now 3 for 3. As he makes that free throw, 3-0, Hobbs up by the tray. For the season, Soria coming in at the free throw line at 88% to lead the team. 5:15 remaining first quarter, Hobbs up by 3. In the front court, Zambrano on the right wing. Hippity hop, scoop shot for the right block off the back of the rim. Another rebound. Again for Josiah Clay, his third, gets some pressure on the near side, a double team. Throws it across Hernandez, far left. Touch pass to David, fires a rainbow three in the left corner off the back of the rim. Put down by Lowe on the rebound off the free throw line. Comes off the iron, but tipped up and in by Malachi David off the left block. So Lowe gets his second rebound, David his second, and a bucket. 5-0, a steal in the front court taken by David. That's the first Roswell turnover. Gives over to Lowe right corner for the three shot at the back of the rim. Put back up by Hernandez on the fade on the right block. He can't get it to drop, and pulling it down on the right side as well as Tony Serrano for the Coyotes. He'll slow up his dribble as he comes across the time stripe. Actually, that was Zambrano. Waiting for a screen up top from Ashung. Hasn't used it yet. Oh, he fell to the floor. His knee hyperextended. Lost the ball. Picks it back up. Spin move in the left corner. One hands it up top to Shung. Backs into the free throw line. Pivoting. Uses up his dribble. Underhands it on the right wing to Fuentes. Driving hard to the corner right side. Good slide defense there by Clay. Ball returned to half court. Stripped away by Hernandez with a steal. That'll be the second Coyote turnover. Throws it up ahead to a breaking Soria with the finger all over the front of the rim. It scores. Off to the races. Eagles up 7-0, completely shutting out Roswell. Coach Barola needs to talk to the troops. Timeout. 3:59 remaining first quarter. Hobbs 7, Roswell nothing. We're back in 30 seconds of the Hobbs Eagle Network. Hobbs Eagles getting a 7-0 run to start this ball game, up 7-0 here in the first. 3:59 remaining over Roswell. Of course, Eagles winning by a 2-point margin last week. Now 2-1 in district. Half-court inbound for Roswell. That is Cheadle. He did check in. Pass down to Bro, the left corner, to the free throw line to Fuentes. Hippity-hop, dump it down to Ashing, left block. Fade away with a little hook shot and scores. First bucket for Roswell. It's now 7-2. So Cheadle is in the game here. He did not play against Clovis on Friday. Into the front court, top of the circle is Lowe. Over to Clay on the left wing. Comes back right side, handoff near the timeline to Soria. Gets a screen for Hernandez. Unloads to the left wing to Lowe. Tries to thread the needle down to David across the lane to the right block. Sails hard past him. I think Cheadle got a hand on it, though. Goes out on the right baseline. Hobbs basketball. Both teams with 2 turnovers so far. Hobbs escaping one there. Surrey on the right baseline to inbound. Underneath the Eagle hoop, up by 5. He's got to chuck it back deep to Clay on the left wing. Near the sideline. Crossover move. Gets it stripped momentarily by Ashung. Back to David, right corner. 18-footer on the fade. Off the rim, no good. Pulled underneath by Ashung. His second board. Gives it off to Zambrano. One hands it up court to Fuentes, left wing. To Barolo, left corner with the dribble. Gets stripped by Hernandez on the double team with Soria. And that's Roswell's third turnover. Hernandez tried to pivot, throw it up court. Gets blocked. Knocked out of bounds by Fuentes. It'll be Hobbs basketball after Roswell's third turnover. Eagles up 7-2 with 3:09 left first quarter. Clovis playing Carlsbad tonight as well. We'll keep you updated on that one. A 1-point ball game in the first quarter. Favor of Carlsbad. Over to David on the left elbow. Down to Clay, left corner. Fadeaway 3 and right to the net. Josiah Clay with 6 of the Hobbs Eagles 10 points. Again, they start off the game on a 7-0 run. An 8-point lead now, the best of the contest. 2:45 remaining in the first. In the front court, Zambrano fires up an NBA 3 left side. In and out, no good. Pulled down by Clay underneath. That's his 4th rebound. Goes ahead to David. A 1-on-2 left wing. Fakes a 3. Drives the rack. Does up a lefty layup off the glass and scores. A little bit off balance, but he got his body up high in the air and just barely tipped it through the glass into the hoop. 4 points for David. It's a 10-point lead for the Eagles. They're best of the ball game. Into the front court, Ashing hanging off to the right wing to Barola. Fires up a 3. That's off the front of the iron. Long rebound for Lowe in transition, his third board. Hippity-hop right block. Kick it over to Hernandez, left corner. Up top to David. Gives it to Soria, top of the circle. Over to right wing to Clay. Clay with a crossover move. Goes to the rack. Double clutch off the glass. Bounces around the rim and good. And the foul on Zambrano to add the icing to the cake. Clay on fire. 8 points of the Eagles' 14. And that'll be Zambrano's foul. That's his first, second team foul against the Coyotes. As Clay right now 1 for 1 from the charity stripe, the only free throw shooter so far. Malachi David and Soria will take a seat. Adrian Mora going to check on, as well as Braden Dunlap getting early action. Little fade on that free throw by Clay. He's got 9, and he'll get a breather as well. So he's going to check on for him. I believe Braddock Beatty back on the court. 15-2, Eagles got a 13-point lead here at Tasker Arena over Roswell. Coming across the timeline is Zambrano. Again, he had 23 against Clovis. On the right wing, guarded by Beatty. Beatty slides it into the right base. Ball loose, picks it back up. Zambrano tries to thread it down low. It's knocked away. Beatty will get it in transition for the 4th turnover for Roswell. Goes to the rack with a double clutch over the front of the rim. He got hammered from behind. Tried to switch his hands in the air, and the foul going to be called. That's going to be against Fuentes. That'll be Fuentes' first personal, 3rd team foul. Fuentes kind of kicked the ball away from the official. Not too happy about the foul call, and he's lucky to get a T on that one. Beatty on the line. His first chance to score in this ball game from the line, and off the back of the rim. Came in the district schedule with this game at 6 for 8 for 75%, although he misses his first one there. And for the season, shooting at 63%. Eagles 2 for 3 from the line. Now make it 3 for 4 as he makes his second. 16-2. Eagles with their biggest lead now, 14. 1:42 left in the first. Slowing it down a little bit now for Roswell off the dribble. Zambrano comes across against Hernandez. Top of the circle. Crossover move to his left hand. Dump it over to Cheeto, left wing. He had 4 3-pointers against the Eagles last week. Back up top to the guard, Zambrano. Gets a screen from Asham. Drives the right elbow. Dribbles behind his back, throws him a hook coming down the lane on a runner, and puts it over the rim for 2. Zambrano's first bucket, 16-4. Hobbs by 12. Low now across the timeline for the Eagles. A 1-2-2 zone. Up top to Hernandez, over to right side to Mora with the jab step. Try to move the zone a little bit. Handoff up top to Lowe, who comes back to get it. He'll back it out to the timeline. Screen from Mora. Goes right of the circle. Hippity hop. Jump stop to the right block. Kick out right corner. Hernandez. Crickson Dunlap. Fadeaway jumper from 15 off the back of the rim. Cheeto with the rebound for Roswell. The big man will dribble across the timeline. Top of the circle. One hand's over to the right corner to Barola with the pivot now against Beatty. Drives right baseline underneath the hoop. Tries to fade back in the paint underneath the left side of the hoop and is fouled. Kind of just backed into about 2 defenders that time. I think Beatty's the one that got the bear hug foul there. First on Beatty, just the second team foul against the Eagles. And they're going to say that was on the floor, so no shooting foul there. Malachi David returns for Javen Hernandez. And also on the court for the first time tonight, Hendrick Sullivan, the senior. Inbounding Barola for Roswell, right baseline underneath the hoop. Ball gets deflected, and Beatty tried to save it on the far right to go into the transition. As that was trying to get into Sombrano that time, gets knocked out of bounds. It will be Roswell basketball. Coach Barola going to go back to the bench and bring in Abram Lopez, the junior, as he comes in for Ashung. 36 seconds left, first quarter, 16-4 Hobbs. Inbounding deep right corner of the front court, Barola. Trying to swat at the ball as Mora. They got to send it back to the timeline. Cheeto jumps up for and brings it down. With 30 seconds left in the quarter. Stop and go dribble, crossover. Double clutch to the right block. And looks like we've got a foul over the top on Malachi David. Looked like he had his ground there. They're going to say he kind of arched his hands over the shooter that time. Get the foul there. David will be his first personal third team foul. And Cheeto on the line to shoot the 2 free throws. Yet to score in this contest. Cheeto had those 4 trays against Hobbs last week. Makes his first free throw there as he gets into the scorebook. Wasn't sure he's going to play tonight even. He had 12 free throw attempts in the last game. Made 7 of 12. Second shot bounces off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound underneath by Mora. So Adrian Moore getting his first board. Outlet to the timeline to Malachi David playing some point guard. Flicks it across to Beatty, top of the circle. Dribbles around the right side, handed off to Dunlap. Tries to pass it back to the timeline, gets deflected. Saved by Malachi David in the backcourt. Up ahead to Moore in the left corner. Turns back up top to David. Crossover, step back 3, top of the circle. Fade away off the front of the rim, no good. Pulled down at the time stripe for Roswell by Ezequiel Barrientos, and he doesn't get enough time to shoot the half-court shot. The buzzer sounds before he can unload it. At the end of one, though, the Hobbs Eagles in control, 16-5 over Roswell. We will take a 60 break, come back with more hoops for the Hobbs Eagles at Task Arena. Get ready to start the second quarter here at Task Arena. Your Hobbs Eagles lead Roswell 16-5. Josiah Clay, the big scorer so far for Hobbs with 9 of the 16. 1 tray, 2 for 2 on the line, 4 rebounds. Malachi David with 4, 2 for Soria, and 1 for Beatty. Eagles out rebounding Roswell 11-6 in the first quarter. Roswell's got Sombrano with 2, Ashung with 2, and 1 for Cheadle. Shot from the top of the arc for Malachi David, bounces out the back of the iron. Cheadle pulls it down middle of the paint. That's his second rebound. Gives it off in the backcourt to the guard with a quick dribble. Abram Lopez, right wing. No look pass up top to Cheadle. Guarded by Beatty. Fakes the handoff, drives the right elbow. Kick out right wing to Barola for 3 off the front of the iron. Soria ripping down the rebound underneath the hoop that time. That'll be his first board. Goes up ahead to Beatty. Crossover move to the free throw line. No look pass to Hernandez in the right corner. To David, same side. Up top to Soria. Fakes it three. Dribbles to the free throw line. Fires anyway with the J and puts it through. Nice follow through for the guard. Lyric Soria, he's got 4 points. Eagles have 4 scores so far and up 18-5. Long pass to the other end. Barola trying to drive to the hoop. Fell forward. Drops the ball out of the baseline there. Out of bounds. That was actually Ezequiel Barrientos for the turnover. 5 turnovers for Roswell, just 2 for the Eagles. Coming across the timeline is Clay. Clay giving up top to Soria, down to David left corner, to Beatty left wing, back to Clay. Yo-yo pass to Beatty again on the left wing and into Clay at the timeline. To Soria on the right side of the arc. He'll back it out with the dribble. Back over to Clay on the left wing. Near the sideline. Gets some pressure there by Lopez. Tries to throw it to Beatty on the left side. He checks it to the lane. It's stolen away by Zambrano. Eagles' third turnover. Throws it up ahead, left block, turn and fire, but getting blocked is Lopez as Malachi David swats it to the baseline. Coach Ross thought he might have moved the pivot foot just a bit. No travel call, but it'll be Roswell basketball underneath their hoop on the left base, down by 13. Inbound to the left corner to Zambrano. He'll dribble to the left wing, fires up an NBA three, swatted by David Hernandez right to the Hobbs Eagles student section. Zambrano did a little head fake, and David Hernandez volleyball spiked it right to the Hobbs crew there for the students. 18-5 score. Pass to Zambrano on the inbound on the right wing. Drives hard to the right elbow, fumbles the basketball. Pivoting now, double pressure with Hernandez and Clay. Shuffle pass to the right wing to Barola. Misses the three off the front of the rim, and David there to rip it down near the net. He's got 3 rebounds. Up ahead to Soria for the Eagles, up by 13. To Hernandez left wing, down to Beatty left corner. Returns to Hernandez, up top to David. Swing it right side to Clay. Fakes a three, drives the baseline, double team. Fades and shoots in the right block off the glass and scores. Gliding through like butter. He leads both teams down to 11, does Josiah Clay. Eagles' biggest lead at 15, and Coach Barola shaking his head, not too happy. At the other end, double clutch on the left block, leaning into the defender, Ezequiel Barrientos. And Jalen Hernandez continues to block the leather, swats that one to the baseline. Back-to-back blocks for Hernandez, but it's Roswell basketball. Lopez to inbound in the left base, bouncing in the left block, lean and shoot for Barrientos in the left block, and another swat again. This time Malachi David tasting some leather with his hands. Still Roswell basketball, inbound to Cheeto left corner. Kick it same side left to Barrientos, dribbles to the free throw line, backs it out, hands it off to Lopez. Around the right circle, puts his head down, tries to go through Beatty and Soria. Right side of the paint, they call the foul. Looks like they'll charge that to Beatty, his second. Only the 14th foul in the game, first here in the second quarter. Quick inbound underneath the hoop to Barola, fumbles it out on the baseline. It'll be Hobbs basketball after the turnover. That's 6 giveaways for Roswell, just 3 for the Eagles, so Roswell doubling up in that negative category. To Bryce Ashung is going to return now as Barola takes a seat. I don't think they like his shot selection. A lot of threes been jacked up, hitting the rim. Here comes Soria now with the dribble in the front court. Unloads to Beatty on the right wing. This holds the ball to move that zone. Looks like a 1-2-2 now. Up top to David. Over to left wing to Soria. NBA three is on the way out the front of the iron. Pulled down underneath by Roswell's Jeremy Zambrano. Quick dribble for him in front of the scores table, far right side. 5:10 remaining in the half. Goes up high in the air. The runner shot from the right block off the glass. Counted. Zambrano now at 4 points. 20-7 Eagles. Quickly a pass to Clay in the front court. Tucks it, goes with it, finger roll, and puts it off the glass for 2. Had that underneath his bicep as he left the ground that time. Just extended the arm at the last second. He's got 13 to lead both teams. Hobbs by 15 again. In the front court, left wing Lopez drives the lane. Little scoop shot underneath Soria's outstretched hands on the left block, and he scores. Lopez first bucket, 22-9. Eagles in the front court, over to David on the right wing. Got a track meet going here. Up top to Hernandez to move a 2-3 zone now. Over to Soria left wing, same side to Clay. Clay on the sideline, backs away from the defender. Ashung and back to Soria at the time stripe. Returns to Clay left wing. Backs into Ashung. Ashung gets a swing at the ball, knocks it out. Chased down by Clay at the timeline. Hernandez to the right wing. Down low to David, leads and shoots. Sidewinder hook, it rolls around the rim and good. And a body foul on Roswell to add to it. Count the bucket for Malachi David, his 6th point of the game. Foul on Ezequiel Barrientos, his first, and the first team foul on the Coyotes here in the second. David now with 6 points. For the district, the 3 games he's played, 4 for 8 for 50% from the line. And for the season, David is shooting 79% from the charity stripe. Little fade, bouncing off the glass and the rim and count it. for Malachi David, now with 7 points. Eagles are 4 of 5 from the line for 80%. 25-9, 16-point lead. Quick pass down to the baseline at the other end. Ashung wrap around to the right corner as he connects with Barrientos. Gives it out to Zambrano on the right wing. Screen from Ashung. Stop and go dribble on the baseline. Coming underneath the hoop from right to left. Lost it on the baseline underneath the bucket. And they're going to call a reach foul on Clay. Got it loose there for a second. Got to be ejected the basketball out of his hands. They're going to say he got part of the arm. They're going to call that on David instead. David was right in the area. That's his second team foul. Roswell basketball on the right baseline underneath their hoop. They trail by 16. Carlsbad was defeated by Clovis tonight. Big upset, 51-45. An early start in that one. So that's going to give Carlsbad their first loss. A foul underneath. They called the foul on Lowe. Cheetah was trying to go up with it. Lowe's first personal, third team foul. Again, Carlsbad upset tonight by Clovis. Inbound left corner, fadeaway three, put through by Ashung. First tray of the ball game, he's got 5 points. 25-11. Into the front court with Clay on the left wing. Lost the ball, knocked out of his hands by Lopez, turnover number 4. And then he's fouled trying to drive up the far right sideline near the scores table as they get that foul call against Clay, his second. That's going to be the fourth team foul against the Eagles. And Roswell basketball in the backcourt. 25-11, Hobbs by 14. Their biggest lead has been 16 in this quarter. 3:44 left here in the second. Inbound back deep to Danny Castro, who just checks in. Played some JV earlier tonight. Gives it right wing to Zambrano. Back to Castro. Drives the lane. Tries to throw it through 2 defenders. Soria gets a steal on it. Then tries to dribble. Goes off his ankle, but hit by Ashung. So it'll be Hobbs basketball after the turnover. 7 giveaways for Roswell. Just 4 for Hobbs. Clock stop at 3:32 left in the half. High inbound to the near side. Into the Eagles. Sub Sanders finds David in the right corner. Front court. Cradle goes and shoots a hook shot in the middle of the paint. No good. Gets his own rebound. Goes back up with 2 hands and pushes it through for 2 over the front of the rim. He's got 9 points and 4 rebounds as Malachi David. Eagles back up to matching their lead of 16, the best of the game. NBA 3 at the other end. Top of the arc. Missed off the back of the iron for Zambrano. Rebound Soria. Sails the pass ahead. Hernandez. Reverse layup right side. Misses off the back of the rim. Long rebound for Zambrano for Roswell. Quickly in the front court off the transition dribble. Drives the right block. Dish out right corner to Lopez. Gets double team. Fadeaway jumper off the back of the rim. And pulled down by the Eagles. Lowe on the left baseline. He got shoved in the back. So the rebound for Lowe and a foul going to go against Roswell. That's the 4th rebound for Lowe. He played some tough D against Carlsbad Friday night. And they get the foul on Ashung. That's his second personal, second team foul against the Coyotes. And they got Mora back on the court now. Mora will be out there with David, Sanders, Lowe, and the dribbler right now, the point guard, Soria. He'll come across the timeline against Lopez. Unloads the David left wing. Double team. Gets around both of them. Zigs it down to Lowe in the left corner. Cross court right with the football toss to Sanders. 3-point shot on the way. Off the right side, no good. Pulled down for Roswell by Barola underneath. Outlet to the near sideline to Lopez with 2:30 left in the half. Crossover move to the middle of the lane. Gets picked pocket by Soria. Loose at the top of the arc. Taken away by David. Roswell's 8 turnover. David sends it ahead to Soria. Little stutter step. Throws up a 3 out the back of the rim. Top of the arc on that one. Rebound by Lopez. Sends it down to Barola, right corner, front court. Drives baseline, spin move. Stripped by Sanders with Lowe on the double team underneath the hoop. And another steal against Roswell. That's their 9th turnover. Up ahead to Mora, right corner, 18-footer fadeaway off the right rim, no good. Another rebound for Barola for Roswell. To the timeline to Lopez in the front court. Gives it Cheeto on the right wing. Eagles up by 16. Handoff behind. Right side to Zambrano. NBA 3 going and good. David tried to get out there to block a little late. 7 now for Zambrano. The second tray for Roswell, who still trails by 13, 27-14. 1:40 left in the half. Surrey across the timeline. A 1-2-2 zone for Roswell. Give it off near side to Sanders. Actually a box and one if you want to get technical. Handoff up top to Lowe. Back to Soria base, or the timeline. To Sanders left wing, returns to Soria same side. Up top to David with the pivot. Kick it to right corner to Lowe. Jab step, couple of times. Defender comes out on him, that's Lopez. Tries to pass it back up top. And they call the turnover. Little travel there by Lowe. And that'll be the Eagles' 5th turnover. But there's been 9 so far for Roswell. 27-14, Hobbs by 13. 1:19 left in the first half. The bouncer on the inbound far right side of the backcourt. As with the dribble now, Sombrano. Bring it across against Beatty. Stop and go, top of the circle. Cheeto trying to get a screen, didn't get it. Sombrano drives the lane, runner shot for 2 hands, air ball, and it rolls out on the baseline underneath. He thought he was going to get blocked. They're going to let the block call go. Referee underneath says it was touched. Hobbs fans not liking that one. It'll be Roswell ball on the right base. Inbounding is Sombrano. A correction, make that Frentis into Sombrano. His 3 off the right side, no good. And rebound on the transition is Clay, his 5th. Up ahead to Mora, dribbles behind his back on the right block, tries to fade to the hoop. They call the foul as he tried to reach up to the iron there to put up the shot, and is hit from behind. Ball came off the iron. So Barola going to pick up his 2nd. That's a 14 foul against the Coyotes, and Mora on the line trying to get his first points of the ball game. First shot is up and a swish. Mora 1 for 1 in the 3 previous games to the line, 100%, now make it 2 for 2. And for the season for the charity stripe, shooting 52%. He'll get 1 more. Eagles now with 5 scores and 2 free throws for Mora. Makes it 29-14. Eagles are 6 of 7 for the charity stripe, only 1 miss so far. 53 seconds left here in the second. Hobbs by 15. Long pass down to a wide open Barola. Coming out quickly to defend him now is Clay. Barola dribbles the right block, knocked out of his hands by Hernandez. Picks it up, goes back up with a double clutch. Off the right glass and scores. He kind of found his way to slip between the defenders after Hernandez got a piece of the basketball. Count the basket and the foul. Helping out there was Clay, and unfortunately gets his 3rd personal. 15th foul. Roswell have a double bonus the rest of this first half. And a chance for a 3-point play for Barola. That was his first bucket. Now 5 scores for Roswell. Hobbs with 5 in the books as well. Free throw off the front of the rim, though. No good for Barola. Gets his own rebound, though. Tries to go back up. Is swatted by the Eagles' Sanders, but a tip back out up top to reset for Sombrano with 30 seconds left in the half. 13-point Eagle lead. Screen from Cheeto. And a referee going to call it from the far sideline. They're going to call the legal screen. Cheeto's going to get the foul. Moving screen there. His first. 15 foul, both teams in the double bonus. That won't be a shooting situation as it is an offensive foul. Coach Ross wants a timeout to discuss probably the last play of the half. 29.5 seconds left here in the second. Hobbs 29, Roswell 16. We're back in 30 seconds. After the Hobbs Eagle timeout, 22 seconds left in the half. Malachi David has it in the front corner on the right wing. One hands it down to Surya, right corner, fakes a 3, returns up top to David. NBA 3 on the way, off the back of the rim. Long bounce to the far right sideline, pulled down by Lopez with 10 seconds. Dribbles in the front court, gives it to Sombrano right wing. His 3 off the mark. And a rebound for the Eagles in transition. Sanders is first. 3-on-3, goes backdoor to Beatty, misses the layup on the fade. And it gets knocked out of bounds off the hands of Sombrano. Luckily for the Eagles, will have it underneath their hoop with 0.7 seconds left in the second, up by 13. Coach Ross on the other baseline trying to tell his team you got to kind of get it high and just kind of push it to the rack. You won't have a lot of time to come down and go back up with it. Hobbs basketball left of the rim with a 13-point lead here. 0.7 seconds left here in the quarter. Eagles have a spread out. Sanders far left, far right. Beatty gets the inbound underneath the hoop. Reverse slam for the buzzer from right to left. Comes off the rim, no good. Your Hobbs Eagles with a double-digit lead at the half over Roswell, 29-16. We'll come back in 3 minutes with the Hobbs Eagle halftime show on Cool 95.7 on the radio. On the internet, HobbsAmerica.com, the YouTube Hobbs Sports page, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. We're at halftime here at Tasker Arena. Your Hobbs Eagles up by double digits over Roswell, 29-16. Ty Friend here with the E.B. Stuber back at the station, as we're going to talk a little bit about the numbers of the first half of action. First for Roswell with a dismal 16 points on the scoreboard. Leading scorer, though, Jeremy Sombrano. 5 of his 7 points in the second quarter. He hit a tray, also had 3 rebounds. 5 points for DeBryce Ashung, had a tray as well. Also with 2, Abram Lopez with 2 rebounds. Trey Barola with 2 points, 0 for 1 on the line with 4 rebounds. And Ladge Cheadle, 1 of 2 on the line for 1 point. 5 scores for Roswell in the first half. They were 1 of 3 from the line for 33% and had those 2 3-pointers, 1 for Sambrano, 1 for Asham. 9 turnovers in the game so far for Roswell compared to 5 for Hobbs. And Roswell rebounded in that first half, 18-14, favor of the Eagles in that category. On the Hobbs side, leading scorer already in double digits, Josiah Clay, 13 points and 5 rebounds, 9 of the 13 in the first quarter. Hit a tray there and 2 for 2 on the line. And Josiah Clay for district has been averaging 16 points a game heading into this one. He's already at 13 right now, as we just said. Malachi David with 9 points. He had 4 rebounds in the first half of action, also perfect on the line at 1 for 1. Lyric Soria with making 4 points and 2 rebounds. It was Adrian Mora coming off the bench for 2 for 2 free throw shooting and 2 points and a rebound. Braddock Beatty, 1 of 2 from the line for 1 point. 5 scores so far for the Eagles, almost perfect on the charity stripe, 6 of 7 from the line for 85%. Only one three-pointer in the game, of course, that was Josiah Clay. Again, Hobbs out-rebounded Roswell 18-14 in the first half, led by Josiah Clay's 5 boards, and Jadarius Lowe and Malachi David both getting 4 as well. Again, Eagles are just 5 turnovers, 4 less than Roswell. 29-16, Hobbs leads over the Roswell Coyotes. Game 4 of the district schedule, 2 more to come. One on Friday in Clovis, who just upset Carlsbad tonight. And then next week against the Carlsbad K-Men. Boy, it's going to be a battle in that district tournament just a few weeks away. We'll take another 3-minute break, come back with more Hobbs Eagle Hoops here at Task Arena on the Hobbs station you love, Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Welcome back to third quarter action. Get ready to go here at Task Arena. Your Hobbs Eagles up 29-16 over Roswell, 13-point lead. Hobbs trying to get their 3rd win of the district schedule. A 2-1 record. Roswell at 0-3. And again, we mentioned earlier, Carlsbad was upset by Clovis tonight. So that means the Carlsbad K-Men will have their first loss in district. They will be 3-1. Hobbs can win tonight. They'll even up that record with Carlsbad. Clovis improves to 500 now at 2-2. And of course, Hobbs beat Clovis by 28 to start the district schedule here at Task Arena. So they're definitely getting better and better as they go along. Roswell trying to get their first win of district. And again, very young team this year, a ton of sophomores and freshmen. as Coach Barola just trying to get through the hump here playing at Tasker Arena. Other action tonight, girls game, Hobbs on the road at Roswell, and boy, they're not in much trouble there. At the end of the third quarter, Hobbs up 61-15 over Roswell. So Coach Carpenter trying to get his fourth win here in the fourth game of the district, so he's definitely looking good as usual. Ranked 1 in the Max Preps Bowl. In terms of the boys' Max Preps Bowl, right now Rio Rancho at number 1, Cleveland number 2, Volcano Vista 3, Las Cruces 4, of course the team the Eagles played. They also played Cleveland. La Cueva at number 5, they also play that squad. Sandia 6, Eagles beat them. 7 is Carlsbad, but lost tonight to Clovis. They might drop. Albuquerque High at number 8, Eagles beat them. Hobbs at 9, and Centennial at number 10. The Eagles have the fourth best strength of schedule in the state in the 5A with 14.2 on the Max Preps Bowl. As we start the third quarter, it's going to be Roswell basketball. Driving the lane on the left side, a runner shot with the left hand is Zambrano. There is a whistle on the drive. Not sure they're going to say he was shooting or not. They're going to call it on the ground. Now, Beatty has just picked up his third personals. He's got to be careful now. It'll be Roswell basketball underneath the hoop on the left side. Eagles up by 13. Biggest lead was 16. They get it in the lane. A hook shot by Barola, rejected by Beatty. Chased down by Barola in the right wing. Kick it down the right corner to Fuentes. Drives baseline. Another drive foul as Soria tries to reach out from behind and grab him. So they'll call that on him, his second team foul. 2 quick fouls for the Eagles. So Roswell going to move to the right baseline underneath their hoop. Inbounding from the right side is Serrano. Dumps it left block. Pivoting with it is Fuentes. Lost the ball, stripped by David Hernandez as he tried to pivot away from the 2 Roswell guys who weren't too happy about the takeaway. He is hit hard by Fuentes, his second on the foul. First team foul on the Coyotes. That'll also be their 10th turnover of the ball game, doubling up what the Eagles had in the first half, just 5. Hobbs basketball with 7:35 left here in the third, up by 13. Over to David on the left wing. Takes a few dribbles with it in front of the Hobbs student section. Up top to Hernandez, swing it right to Soria. Driving hard to the right block, kick out right corner to Lowe. Gives it back to Soria, comes to get it from the baseline. Dumps it over to Beatty, left corner. He comes down the left side of the lane, leans in and shoots and is swatted. Cheadle and Barola collapsed on him. Going to call the body foul on Cheadle. That's his second personal, second team foul. Not quite sure why he sat out against Clovis last week, but he had 27 against Eagles last week. And also, tonight just 1 of 2 on the line. So I'm not sure if he was sick or hurt or whatever, but definitely not doing the damage he did this past week. First free throw up and good for Beatty. He is now 2 for 3 from the line with 2 points. 30-16, Hobbs by 14. Getting very close to where they had the biggest lead at 16 in the first half. Second shot good for Beatty. 3 for 4 on the line now. 31-16, 15-point lead. Zambrano gets it to Cheeto at the time. Stripe will bring it across, top of the circle. Good head fake, backs in, spins, leans and shoots, double clutch, and underneath the arms of David. They're going to say David swatted out on top of him, and the foul. Ball hit hard off the glass, no good. So that'll be David's third. Roswell's starting to use that little head shake stuff to try to get the Eagles drawn on them, and that happened that time. So going to be free throws now for Cheadle. First one's up in a swish. He's got 2 points. 2 of 3 from the charity stripe. One more now for Cheadle. Big, broad kid, too. He got some physicality out there for Roswell. Second shot too hard. Comes off the front of the iron. Pulled down by Malachi David, his 5th rebound. 1 point away from double digits for him, and 5 more boards. They have a double-double. Brings it across the timeline. Handoff to Soria on the left wing. Hand it to Beatty. Drives back to the time stripe. Dribbles behind his back. Kicks it down to Soria left corner. Sidestep and a 3 on the way off the back of the iron. Cheeto gets it at the free throw line in transition. That's his 3rd rebound. Dribbles in the front corner on the right wing. Low and Soria with the double team. Threads it down low, left block to Fuentes. Gets rejected by David going up. Rebound on the free throw line. Pulled down by Barola, his 5th. Kick out left wing. Driving lane hard. Losing the ball in the air. Zambrano off the glass and a rebound for the Eagles. Low, his 5th. Up ahead to Beatty in the paint. Kick out to Soria right corner. Fakes a 3. Head fakes. Might have shuffled his feet. They call the travel from behind. So that's the Eagles' 6th turnover of the ball game. Clock stop with 6:27 left here in the third. 31-17 the score in favor of the black and gold. Slowing it down in the dribble now, Zambrano for the Coyotes as he brings it across the timeline. Screen up top from Cheeto. Cheeto gets the pass on the left wing. Step back. Does not shoot the tray. Instead, gives it off left wing again to Serrano. Hand off to behind to Sombrano on the left elbow. Back to Cheeto, left baseline. Goes up strong. Push shot off the back of the rim. No good. Rebound, David is sixth. Outlet far right sideline. Going to be Beatty. Crossover move. Fade shot in the paint. Off the back of the rim. Gets his own rebound. His first. Goes back up with a fade on the right block. It's no good. And there's Cheeto, the big man again, near the free throw line to pull it down. He's got 4 boards. Coming across the timeline, unloads to Sombrano, far left sideline, dribbles up top, screen from Cheeto. Spin move on the right block, fades, and then falls to the floor at the travel. Lost his balance and got 1 foot kicked up in the air and hit the deck that time. Roswell now with 11 turnovers. Coach Barola kind of is putting his arms up in the air, doesn't know what to do to get his team back focused. As a sub will come in, Abram Lopez. He'll check in for Andrew Fuentes. Coach Ross got to go to his bench too. Jalen Sanders returns. Clay's out there as well, staying as Malachi David and Hernandez. Inbound to Soares. He brings it across the timeline. Met at the stripe by Sombrano. Gets past him on the left wing. Unloads to Clay in the left corner. Double team against him. Returns to Hernandez on the left side. One hands over to David, right side circle. Drives the lane. A runner shot with his right hand and scores over 2 defenders. Had about 5 or 6 inches on those 2 guys. 11 points down for David, double digits. 33-17, matching the biggest lead. Coming down the lane at the other end, Sombrano. Kick out wide open to Cheeto. His 3 is in and out. Rebound for Clay. His 6th board. Dribbles up middle of the court through the Hobbs Eagle logo. Allows to David. He's going to fire a 3 from the right side. Air ball. Ball's going to take a bounce toward the left baseline, out of bounds. Eagles got it blocked out there underneath the hoop. Good job using the butt that time by Abram Lopez to try to keep them away from the rim. Inbounding will be Roswell. On the right baseline, Sobrano throws a high one into Cheeto near the time stripe. He'll bring it across on the dribble. 5 minutes left, third quarter. Eagles up by 16. Stop and go for Cheeto. Drives the left block, goes up double clutch, comes up and hits the bottom of the backboard of the shot, gets his own rebound, goes back up, blocked by David. And then it's rebound for the Eagles. Here comes Clay after his 7th board. Gets it stripped around the right wing. Trying to save it is Hernandez, but taken away by Sombrano. The Eagles now with the turnover. That will be their 7th. And then a drive to the lane to the other end, Barola. They believe they have a travel. And boy, Coach Barola's out of the court. He's almost near the half-court line. I think he called a timeout, but he is marching all the way out there. Eagle fans were kind of wondering what was going on. He's having some words from one of the refs right now. Not sure if they called a travel or a screen foul on that one, but regardless, I think that is a turnover for Roswell. We'll have to double check on that when we get back. Full time out of the court, Hobbs 33, Roswell 17. Come back with us in 60 seconds. After a Roswell turnover, their 12th of the ball game, Hobbs Eagle basketball, and a timeout before that is we have the Eagles with the ball in the front court. Low on the left wing, bounce it low to David, left block, back to low on the free throw line. Fade shot down the lane on the runner, misses the rim, and pulled underneath by Roswell. Serrano, his first board. Outlet to Cheeto, far left sideline. 4:20 left in the third. Hobbs up 33-17 over Roswell. Cheeto with the spin near the timeline now as he backed out. Gives it off far left sideline to Lopez. Guarded closely by Sanders. Almost got a piece of the ball there. Drives the right side of the lane. Gets tied up from behind by Sanders. They're going to say he was holding on the wrist. They call the foul. Thought that might be a jump, but calling the foul on the drive at least. Sanders picks up his first. 3rd team foul against the Eagles, making the 4th here in the third quarter. They won't call that on the drive. Inbound backdoor. Eagles caught sleeping. Barola going up with 2 hands off the glass right side and a foul on top of it. So Barola now with 4 points. Chance for a three-point play. Call on Hernandez on the foul. That's the 15th foul, which is going to mean double bonus the rest of this quarter for Roswell. About 4 minutes remaining of it. Morrow's back on the court now on the sub for Hernandez. And Barola on the line to shoot the free throw. He's 0 for 1. Back spin, but it somehow falls over the rim in. He's got 5 now with the made free throw. 33-20, Hobbs by 13. Here comes Clay with the stop and go across the timeline against his defender Lopez. To the right elbow, gives it off right corner to Sanders. Ready for the three off the side of the iron. Rebound left corner by Mora, his second. Up top to David. David comes back left side, hands it off to Lowe. He'll back it out on top of the arc. Dribbling through his legs, crossover to the right elbow. To Clay on the right wing, fakes an NBA three, puts a little hip on his defender Lopez. Back up top to Lowe. Lowe's going to back it out, dribbling through his legs, wrap around pass to David on the left elbow. Step back to the top of the arc, hand off to Clay. Clay getting guarded close by Lopez, comes down the lane with the runner, throws up a J, and it's over the rim and good, and a foul. Clay with some great body control in the air. He's got 15, his first bucket in the third quarter, and a chance for that three-point play. That'll be the third on the Coyotes. Foul against Lopez, his first. Clay on the charity stripe tonight, 2 for 2. Hobbs at the half was 6 of 7 from the line. They haven't yet to shoot a free throw, or 2 free throws have been made by Beatty, though. Misses the free throw, does Clay. Trying to get up with it is Moore, but it sails off his hands to the baseline from the middle of the paint. So Roswell ball down by 15, 35-20. Beatty, Mora, David, Clay, and Surrey on the court for the Eagles. And for Roswell, it's Zambrano, Cheadle, Barola. Also Ezequiel Barrientos and Andrew Fuentes. Pass up top to Cheadle in the front court. Hand off to Zambrano left wing. Behind to Barola. He'll fire up a three from the left side and puts it through. Swish for Barola. His first tray of the ball game, 8 points. The third tray for the Coyotes, but they still trail by 12. In the front court, Soria stop and go dribble. Uses it up on the near side left. Back up top to Morris. Swing it right side to Clay. 3 minutes left of the third. Dribbling behind his back. Spin move. Fadeaway jumper. 15-footer from the right of the paint. Tipped up by Morris. It came off the rim. No good. His third rebound off the glass and pulled down for Roswell. Lopez down the front court. Unloads the Barola right corner. Fakes a three. Goes to the lane. Pivots. Tries to shoot. Double clutch over the front of the rim and scores. Bounces around the rim a few times and drops in. Barola with back-to-back buckets. He's got 10. 35-25, Hobbs by 10. At the other end, David fires a three left wing, no good. Pulled down right in front of him. On the run, off the rebound is Zambrano, his fourth. Give it to Cheadle, right corner. Throws up a short three off the side of the iron. Beatty comes down with it on the left block. He gets stripped hard in the foul. That's Beatty's second rebound. And Cheadle will pick up his third personal, the big man. That will be the 14th foul against the Coyotes. Both teams will be in the double bonus the rest of the third. A timeout of the court. 2:23 left in the third. Hobbs 35, Roswell 25. Come back with us in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Back with Hobbs Eagle Hoops here at Tasker Arena. Hobbs up by 10, 35-25 over Roswell. The fourth district game of the season. Hobbs at 2-1. Roswell at 0-3. We'd like to thank our sponsors of Hobbs Eagle Basketball, including Eastern New Mexico University, Lasco Construction, Badger, Master Plumbers, Divine Energy Services, Forest Tire, Lee County State Bank, TDS, First American Bank of Hobbs, NMR Pipeline, Eunice Pump and Supply, the Hobbs Express, SunGuard Precision, the Bel Air Bowl, Southwest Siding Windows and Doors, and DNC Electric. Without those fine sponsors, you wouldn't get free broadcasts on the radio and the internet like we give to you from Nomark Broadcasting. After a timeout, Hobbs basketball leading by 10. Have to go the distance of the court. 2:23 left third quarter. Beatty having some trouble finding somebody. Finally gets it into Surrey on the far right sideline. He's held on to. That's why it took a little while for him to get that one. They call the foul on Lopez for Roswell. That's his second, but more importantly, the 15th foul. The march to the other end for the Eagles with a double bonus. That's where Lyric Surya is heading. He's yet to shoot a free throw in this game. On the season, Lyric shooting 88% from the line. He's only missed 5 free throws, and for the district, 2 for 2. So he has had a lot of free throw opportunities in the 3 district games prior to this one, but nails his first one here. He's got 5 total. 36-25, Eagles back up by 11. Eagles have shot 10 free throws in this game, made 8 of them for 80%. Second one bounced around the rim and good. Surya now with 6 points. 37-25, Eagles by 12, 2:18 remaining. Long pass down court, caught by Lopez, drives the lane, dishes out left corner, faking a 3 as Barrientos. Steps back, throws up another 3, a tip, misses nowhere, doesn't even come to the rim. Rebound underneath, and trying to put back up by Lopez, and his shot sails to the baseline. Might have been knocked out by David. Lopez picked up his 4th rebound. Lopez will inbound right block, fading backwards, Barola, lost it in the air, rebound by Malachi David, his 7th. Does it up ahead to Clay, goes the rack left side, scoop over the left side glass and puts it through the hole. Clay now with 17, 39-25 Eagles by 14. Dribbling now Sombrano with the double team, bad pass in the time stripe. Surya gets a piece of it, but pick up by Ashung. Give it off to Sombrano at the timeline, kick left to Barola for 3, clicks off the iron, rebound by David in the right corner. David now starting to rack up the rebounds, he's got 8. Going ahead to Beatty with the rack layup on the right side. Beatty now with a total of 5 points. 41-25, Eagles by 16, matching their biggest lead. In the front court, top of the arc, Sombrano with the jab step against Hernandez. Coming to get his Ashung, hands it back to Sombrano. Dribbling through his legs, top of the circle. Does have a 3 rejected by Hernandez, right back to the hands of Sombrano. A screen from Barola. Driving the left side of the lane, scoop on the finger roll and scores at the left glass. Sombrano now with 9 points. 41-27, 14-point Eagle lead. Clay will slow it down as he comes across the timeline, unloads the Surya left wing, dribbles down the lane. Backdoor alley-oop, and there's Malachi David with the double clutch right side glass. David now with 13 off the great assist there from Surya. 43-27, matching the biggest lead of 16. In the front court, Ashung, cross court right, pulled down high in the air by Barrientos. Dribbles to the top of the arc, gets a screen from Barola, doesn't use it. Pivots, double team with Surya and Hernandez. Able to tip it out to Sombrano in the left wing. He'll dribble back to the timeline with 30 seconds left in the third. Top of the circle, a screen from Ashung. Dribbles right circle, spins, no look pass right corner. 3 on the way for Barrientos, off the iron, no good. Rebound left block for Clay. That's his 8th rebound. Working on a double-double. Throws it down to Surya in the left corner, front court. Underhands it up top to David. To Clay on the left wing, now with the jab step against Barola. Crossover move to his left hand, jump stop, throw up a 3. Off the side of the iron, no good. Middle of the lane for the rebound for Ashung, his 3rd. Give it out to Sombrano. Half-court shot at the buzzer is going to hit the baseline, and that will run out the 3rd quarter clock, no good. At the end of 3, your Hobbs Eagles matching their biggest lead of the game, 16 over Roswell, 43-27. We'll come back with the finale in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Hobbs Eagles up by 16 over Roswell at the end of 3, 43-27 for Roswell. Trey Barola leads with 10. Jeremy Sombrano with 9, their 2 leading scorers. And for your Hobbs Eagles, Josiah Clay, 17 points and 8 rebounds, working on a double-double. Malachi David, 13 points and 8 rebounds. He's working on a double-double. Those 2 combining for 30 points. Hobbs out rebounding Roswell currently 30-23. Eagles with just 7 turnovers compared to 12 for Roswell. It's going to be Hobbs basketball with a 16-point lead to start the fourth. Pass to Hernandez on the right wing. Back deep to Beatty. Beatty will just keep the ball and now backs it out with the dribble. Touch pass to David on the left wing. Give it off to Clay on the left side as well. Underhands it up top to Hernandez. Flicks it over to Surrey on the right wing and gets a 2-3 zone. He'll back it out near the scores table far right. Eagles are 6 of 7 from the line, 85%. Up top to David. Alley-oop back to Hernandez. Comes down with it. Tries to back up between two defenders. Goes up strong on the right glass and scores. Hernandez with his first bucket of the game. Eagles have their biggest lead of 18 here in the fourth. Cheeto in the front court, right wing, double team with Clay and David. Cross court left, coming down with it near the sideline is Barrientos. Tough pressure by Hernandez. Sends it back deep to Lopez on the far left sideline. Bounce pass up top to Shung. To the right wing off the dribble. Pivots, flip it up top to Cheeto. Fires up an NBA three and swishes it. Cheeto now with 5 points. That's the fourth tray for Roswell. 45-30, Hobbs by 15. High to pass to Clay on the far right. Mid-stripe, gets it down to Beatty. Reverse slap in the lane, right to left. With a nice wraparound off the left glass and scores. Beatty with 7 points. 47-30. Into the front court. No-look pass up to Barola on the right corner. Returns on the right side to Barrientos. Up top to Cheeto. Cheeto gets a screen from Shung. Shung gets a handoff there. Drives right side of the lane. Reverse layup right and a chop on his arm. Hernandez trying to come over to swat it. Make that Beatty was also there in the area. They'll call that on Hernandez, though. That's his second. First team foul here in the fourth quarter, and that will put Shung on the line. Yet to shoot a free throw yet. Right now, Roswell is 3 of 5 from the charity stripe. 60%. And misses the first one. Shung with 5 points, does have a tray in the game. Trying to get his first free throw of the contest. For second shot is a swish for Shung. He's got 6. 47-31, another 16-point lead for the Eagles. 6:20 remaining here in the game. Barrientos, or make that Beatty, comes across the timeline. Gives it off the high post. Malachi on the right side. Flick it over to Clay on the right wing. Dribbles up top. Double team. Coming at him is Shung and Lopez. Near the time stripe. Unloads it to Malachi. David right wing. To Beatty in the right corner. Drives the lane. Little scoop on underneath the right rim. Got uppercut that time. Throwing a hip at him looked like was Barola. And made him kind of get crunched up in the air. Call that on Barola. That's his third personal. First team foul against the Coyotes. Boy, they didn't even call that a shooting foul. Inbound to David on the right wing. Back up top to Hernandez. Gives over to Soria right side arc. Crosses it through his legs. Returns Hernandez near the timeline. Flicks it to Beatty in the left corner. 18-footer off the side of the rim. Malachi David horribly over the back of Cheeto on the right block. Could have called that from a mile away there. So I'll call the foul on the rebound. Saved a rebound number for Cheeto that time because his whistle came before it even got to Cheeto's hands. So David will pick up his fourth personal. Got to be careful, second team foul. In the front court, right wing on the dribble, Lopez. Head off to Barola, fires up a three off the side of the iron. Pulled down by Malachi David on the baseline. He's got 9 rebounds, one more board away from a double-double. Up ahead to Clay in the left wing with the cradle. Gets stripped in the paint with 3 defenders on him. Chased down in the deep right corner by Serrano for the Eagles. 8 turnover. Up ahead to Shung. 2-on-2. Spin move in the free throw area. Reverse layup right side and is fouled. Hernandez just kind of flicked his arm up in the air. Might have bumped him a little bit there. Just enough to get the shot off the mark by Shung. So Hernandez now with 3 personals. That's a third team foul on the Coyotes. And Shung will be back to the line like he was just a few seconds ago. He's 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. They're 5 of 7 from the line. So far, the Coyotes. First shot is up and no good. Hard off the back of the rim for Shung. Coach Ross got to go to his bench, bring back Mora. And also returning as well for the Eagles, Braden Dunlap, as Malachi David and Josiah Clay take a seat. David with 13 points, 9 rebounds. Clay with 17 points and 8 rebounds. Both looking at double-doubles tonight. Second shot at the back of the rim again by Shung. Trying to get the rebound, going down hard is Dunlap. Got it stripped out of his hands. That was his first board. Picked up and going the other way with it was Beatty. Shot from the baseline on the fade from 10 feet and puts it through the hole and fouled. So Beatty will get a chance for a 3-point play. He's up to 9 points now, 1 away from a double-digit scoring. They call that one against Serrano, his first, second team foul. As Beatty on the line. He is 3 for 4 for 75%. Free throw is up, and it is good. He's got 10 points. 50-31, Hobbs by 19, their biggest lead of the ball game. Pass to Cheeto on the near side against a 2-1-2 full court press trap. Throw it across to Shung, top of the circle. Drives the lane, leans and shoots on the runner off the back of the rim. No good. Rebound by Barola. Back it into his defender and throws it back deep to Cheeto, top of the circle. Barola 6 rebound. Cheeto on the right wing, wants some screen on it, gets it from Barola. Crossover move on the right circle. Cross court left on the pass, high to Serrano. He'll drive the paint, hippity hop. No look pass up top to Cheeto, fires a 3 out the front of the rim, short. Rebound for Hernandez on the near left sideline, his second board. Up ahead, he'll dribble behind his back on the way at the travels. It got caught on the middle of his back. Hands up top to Soria, drives right elbow, shot for a J off the back of the rim. Tries to get his own rebound loose, picked up on the right baseline by Dunlap. His second, kick over to Beatty left side, his 3 in and out. And chased down by Dunlap for the rebound near sideline, his third. Threads it to Beatty on the left elbow. Over to Hernandez, right wing, wide open for a 3, and it's not going to hit anything but the baseline, out of bounds. Roswell basketball with 4:19 remaining here in the fourth. Hobbs with a 19-point lead, 50-31. If the Eagles win tonight, they'll have the same record as Carlsbad at the top of the leaderboard in district. Inbound to the near sideline to Sombrano. Hobbs going to drop back to a 2-3 zone. Pass up top. Ashung dribbles right of the circle. Hand off to Barola. His 3 is a high rainbow and puts it through the hole. Barola now with 13 points. He's got 2 trays. The 5th tray of the game for Roswell. Down by 16 though. Here comes Beatty dribbling through his legs as he takes on Sombrano to the right wing. Hand it off. And that is to the sub that just checked in. Sanders gives it off to Beatty behind him. Spin move to the free throw line. Jumper on the way. Air ball. Trying to save it as more backhand, but right to Roswell. Pulled down by Serrano. Throws it across to Sombrano in the front court to Cheeto right corner. Hernandez right on top of him defensively. Sliding right to left. Throw it up top to Ashung. Spin move. Goes to the rack right side. Double clutch and is fouled. Coming on top of him is Mora. From the backside of the lane left over to the right side, shuffling in, and just both hands slamming down on top. They'll call that on Mora, his first 14th foul. Clock stop with 3:28 remaining in the fourth. Eagles by 16, pinning the free throws by Ashung. First shot is bouncing around, rolling around, and dropping through for him. He's got 7 points. All 5 of his free throw attempts so far here in the fourth quarter. He's 2 for 5 for 40%. One more free throw makes it 3 of 6. 50-36 now, Hobbs by 14. Taking his time now, Sanders with the dribble in the backcourt. Picked up by Sombrano at the time stripe. Stop and go dribble around the right circle for Sanders. Continues to the right base. Ball tipped out from behind. Nice hands on it by Serrano, but knocks it out to the baseline. Eagle basketball. Don't forget Friday night, Eagles on the road in Clovis. They upset Carlsbad tonight. Their second win in a row. 2-2 record. Beat Roswell on Friday. Hobbs will be up there. 6:45 pregame. Tip off at 7. Inbound left corner. Shooting Dunlap is a 3. Count it right from the student section. His first bucket of the ball game. Eagles' second three-pointer of the contest. They haven't needed it, though. They're up by 17. Cheeto in the front court left wing. Up top to Sombrano. Gets a screen from Ashung. Drives the right side of the lane. Reverse layup. High off the glass. No good. Rebound middle of the paint by Mora. His 4th. Gives it off to Dunlap left wing. Back deep to Hernandez. Don't look past the Sanders right wing for 3 and good. Nobody on him that time. And boy, does Sanders make him pay. 3 points for Sanders and the 3rd try for the Eagles. Up by 20, their biggest lead. 56-36. Crossover move. Sombrano down the lane. Scoop shot right. It's rejected by Hernandez and rolls out to the Roswell bench underneath the hoop. It'll be Coyote basketball. Now it's Almanza's turn to get some playing time for the Eagles. First time on the court tonight for the Eagles. That's Brendan Almanza in for Hernandez, who exits with 2 points and 2 rebounds. Inbound to Ashung in the right corner for Roswell. Drives baseline. Gets down, crouch, goes up strong, and scores at the right glass. So Ashung now with 10 points. 56-38. Eagles in the front court by an 18-point lead. Getting the passes, Sanders comes to the right wing, running clock with 2:20 remaining. He'll slide it back towards the timeline. Stepping out, Sombrano on defense. Sanders trying to get some motion, and boy, ball knocked out of his hands across the half-court line in the backcourt. Picked up, pass back to the left wing. 3 on the way, no good for Sullivan. And a long rebound for the Coyotes, pulled down by Cheadle, his 6th. Into the front court, stop and go. Drives right lane with a scoop and is fouled. as Moore was kind of riding him the whole way on the hip, and they call that on him. Misses off the rim from the right side, but a foul on Mora. That'll be his second. 15 foul. Roswell in the double bonus, remaining 1:57 of this ball game, and Cheadle on the line. He is 2 for 3, 66%, 5 points, and he misses his first one here in the fourth. Again, Cheadle had 27 against the Eagles last week, 4 3-pointers in that game, and 4 rebounds. Way short of that tonight. Misses off the front of the rim, put back up by a Shung as he leaned towards the hoop, misses off the front of the iron. The Eagles get the rebound, and that was Sanders. He tried to dribble, though, lost the ball at half court, stolen by Barola, who lays it in. He's got 15. So the Eagles now with the turnover. That was their 9th of the ball game. In the front court, Sullivan on the right wing gives it off to Sanders, left elbow, fadeaway jumper, bouncing off the rim of the glass and in for 2. Sanders with all 5 of his points here in the fourth quarter. It's now 58-40. Driving to the other end, reverse layup, right to left from underneath the hoop, going hard was Jeremy Sombrano, and he gets chopped hard as well by the Eagles. They call that one against Sanders, his second. 16 foul, double bonus once again for Roswell. Sombrano yet to shoot a free throw, and he doesn't even have double digits yet, 9 points. One free throw would make it 10 here. First shot's good, 10 for him. Does have a 3-pointer earlier in the game. Sombrano was a guy that scored double digits against the Eagles last week too, 16 points and 2 trays. Way below that tonight. One more shot for Sombrano. Well, he did have 23 against Clovis on Friday. That second one good too, 11 for Sombrano. 58-42, Eagles by 16. 1:13 remaining in the game. Dribbling to his legs, Sanders in the front corner in front of the Taskovich band. Tries to drive through traffic, and luckily they get a foul whistle here. Kind of forcing it through the 2 Roswell defenders. They're going to call the hold against Sombrano, his second. 3rd team foul against Roswell. Eagle basketball on the near sideline in front of the Hobbs Eagle student section. Inbounding will be Sullivan. Gets it back to the time stripe to Mora. Guarded closely by Ashung. Ashung strips him, and they call the foul on him near the timeline. Mora's pretty happy about that. That would have been an easy layup at the other end. So Ashung picks up his 3rd, 4th team foul. And that will be the 4th against Roswell, one away from the double bonus with 1:04 remaining. Inbound to Sanders at the timeline, back to Mora, or make it Sullivan right wing. NBA 3 ricochets off the rim. Rebound for Roswell by Sombrano, his 5th. Dribbles in the middle of the court to the left elbow. Over to Cheeto, left wing, back behind to Barola, who nails another tray. Right through the net. Barola's starting to get hot. He's got 18 to lead the Coyotes. 58-45. Roswell down by 13 still, though. Here's Sullivan now in the front court near the Taskovich band near side. Scoop pass up top to Sanders at the time stripe. Kick it down the right corner. Dunlap fires a 3 hard at the back of the rim. Rebound on the near sideline for Roswell by Ashung, his 5th. Sends it ahead to Cheadle underneath the hoop. Goes up strong with the left hand off the glass and scores. Cheadle now with 7, and Coach Barola calls a timeout. It's an 11-point ball game, but probably not enough time to get a good comeback here for Roswell with 23.5 seconds remaining. Hobbs 58, Roswell 47, coming back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Go. 23.5 seconds left here in the fourth at Task Arena. 58-47, Eagles by 11, ready to run their record of 15-9 overall and 3-1 in district. Inbound to Sanders in the backcourt. He'll come across the timeline against Sombrano. Unloads on the near side to Dunlap. Gets double team, ball stripped. Taken by Sombrano. The Eagles turnover. That's their 10th of the game, and trying to get it down the lane on a layup and fouled was Sombrano. Got hit from behind by the Eagles. So he get a chance. I think called the bucket good as well. He kind of tried to lay it up there. I wasn't sure they were going to call that a shooting foul or not. That's going to go against Sullivan, his first 17th foul. And Sombrano now with 13. He'll get one free throw here. He's 2 for 2 on the line, both coming in this fourth quarter. 9-point lead, though, for the Eagles. Probably a little too late for the Coyotes to come back in this one. That would drop them to 0-4 in district and 11-13 overall. Shot for Sombrano's a swish. He's got 14 points. He'll be the second leading scorer behind 18 from Trey Barola, who is able to nail 3 3-pointers in this game. Coach Barola, his dad, calls the timeout here, trying to get some subs in the game. 11.5 remaining, and an 8-point lead for Hobbs. They haven't had a single-digit lead for a long time. It's been double digits most of this game for Hobbs, especially here in the second half. In terms of scoring, Malachi David with 13. 11 for Beatty, but the leader is Josiah Clay, 17 points and 8 rebounds. He was 2 boards shy of a double-double. And unfortunately, Malachi David 1 board shy of a double-double, but they've been on the bench for a while, just getting some breathing time, get some other guys a chance to score out here. Actually, Josiah Clay is on the court, so maybe there's a chance to get him a couple of rebounds. Malachi David, Soria, Clay, Sanders, and Hernandez out for the Eagles on the court. And for the Coyotes, it'll be Sombrano, Barrientos, Ashung. Also out there is Castro. As we get ready for the action, 11.1 remaining. Eagle basketball on the baseline of the backcourt. Get it into David, far right. Throws it down court to Soria on a touchdown throw. Boy, he gets shoved down hard. Face first, almost into the wall underneath the hoop on a layup. I think they might call that a intentional foul, too. That's going to be a clear the lane situation with 7.4 remaining. Very hard foul. Luckily, the wall is not right behind the basket here at Tasker. A little bit of some space there, but ugly foul. They're going to clear the lane on this one. They're going to call that one on Danny Castro, his first, 15th foul. 2 shots for Soria. He's 2 for 2 on the line and nails that one. He's got 7 points. We mentioned before the game that 88% from the line this season, best on the team, and makes the second one as well. 8 points for Soria, 4 for 4 on the charity stripe. Did not get a tray in this game, but of course I think he's more concerned about the win to get 2-0 against Roswell this season. 7.4 seconds remaining on the intentional foul. They will contain the basketball again, up by 10. On the right baseline is Soria. Gets it in right corner to Clay. Clay pivots, double team against him, finds Soria deep near the timeline with 2 seconds. That'll run out the clock, and your Hobbs Eagles get the win, 60-50 over Roswell. They've improved to 15-9 on the season and 3-1 in district. Roswell drops to 11-13 and 0-4. Hobbs will tie up with Carlsbad at the top of the district standings. Carlsbad losing to Clovis tonight in an upset. We'll take a 3-minute break, come back with the Hobbs Eagle postgame show on the radio, Cool 95.7. On the internet, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Your Hobbs Eagles big win tonight over Roswell, 60-50 to go to 3-1 in district and improve to 15-9 overall. Roswell dropping 11-13 and 0-4. Again, Hobbs 3-1 with Carlsbad 3-1 tonight as well, losing to Clovis. Clovis with the upset victory. That's going to make it a little bit more interesting as we move along. Also, the Hobbs 8 Eagles winning tonight pretty big as well at Roswell, 70-19. The Hobbs 8 Eagles are now 4-0 on the season. Hobbs boys JV winning earlier tonight by a big margin, 65-35. So get you caught up there on some of the other games going on besides the varsity. Let's take a look at the numbers, first of all, for the Roswell Coyotes, who do finish with 3 in double digits despite losing by 10. Trey Barola got a hot hand from 3. He had 3 trays in the game, 18 points, was 1 for 1 from the charity stripe, and actually 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. And so he's going to finish with 6 rebounds as well, 18 points, 6 boards for Trey Barola, the coach's son. Jeremy Sombrano with 14, which is 2 less than what he got against the Eagles last week. He went perfect on the line, though, 3 for 3, had 1 tray and 5 rebounds. DeBryce Ashung was the 3rd double-digit scorer with 10 points, 3 for 6 from the charity stripe, 1 tray, and 5 rebounds. Lance Cheadle was 7 points, well below the numbers he had on the last week's game. He had 27 against Hobbs before, to 7 tonight, 2 for 5 from the line, and was also 6 rebounds to the Roswell cause. 2 points for Abram Lopez and 4 rebounds for him. They had 5 scores in this ball game, and they finished up on the free throw stripe at 9 for 17 for 52%. Rebound-wise, they had 28, which was 8 less than the Eagles. A couple of guys with 6 boards, Barola and Cheadle, 5 for Ashung and Sombrano. Lopez had 4. So guys kind of spreading out there with the numbers, getting some good glass work, but still Hobbs dominating on the glass tonight. Roswell did win in one category. They had 6 3-pointers in the game, doubling up on the Eagles' 3. And they finished up with 12 turnovers in the ball game after getting 9 in the first half, only 3 giveaways in the second half. Take a look at the Hobbs Eagles numbers. They had 3 in double figures. Josiah Clay, 17 points and 8 rebounds for him. He was also 2 for 3 from the line and had 1 tray in the contest. We should mention Clay was averaging 16 in the 3 previous games in this district, so he had 1 better tonight. Continues to be on a roll for the Eagles in terms of scoring and just 2 rebounds away from a double-double. Malachi David, one of his bookends tonight, finished with 13 points. He was 1 for 1 from the line and had 9 rebounds, so 1 rebound shy of the double-double for him. And last but not least in the double digits, Braddock Beatty, 10 points. He was 4 of 5 from the charity stripe, 80%, and had 2 rebounds. So 3 guys in double figures, 17 Clay, 13 David, 10 for Beatty, as they combine for 40 of the Hobbs Eagles' 60 points in this one. Lyric Soria just 1 bucket away, or a couple of free throws away from double digits. He had 8, was perfect on the line, 4 for 4 as he came into the game shooting 88% on the season and had 2 rebounds for the Eagles. Jalen Sanders with 5 points, all coming in the 4th quarter off a tray and another bucket. And Adrian Mora with 2 points on 2 for 2 free throw shooting with 4 rebounds. The Hobbs Eagles finish up with 6 players in the books. Free throw is pretty great tonight, 13 of 15 for 86%, one of their best showings of the season from the line. And Hobbs had a total of 10 turnovers. That was 2 less than Roswell's 12. Hobbs with 3 3-pointers in the ball game, less than half of what Roswell had, but still got a 10-point win. Those 3 3-pointers kind of spread out for the Eagles. That included 1 from Josiah Clay, Jalen Sanders getting 1, and Braden Dunlap getting 1 as well. So that's it for the numbers for the Hobbs Eagles. A pretty impressive win here. Double-digit lead through much of the game. It got it down to 8 points in the 4th quarter for Roswell off that streak shooting from Trey Barola. But Hobbs had this game pretty much in hand through the start of the contest. So a great win for Hobbs. Again, 60-50 the final tonight as they improved to 15-9 and 3-1 in district. Now take a look at what happened earlier tonight. We did mention that the Carlsbad Cavemen suffering a loss. And that was not a good loss for them because that's going to kind of hurt their situation in the district. Final score was Clovis 51, Carlsbad 45. So the Wildcats get the 6-point win in that ball game, which puts Carlsbad at 3-1, just like the Hobbs Eagles. And Clovis moves up to 500 now at 2-2. If you look at the Max Preps Bowl this week, probably will change by the end of the week. But right now, Hobbs sitting at 9, and Carlsbad at 7. So getting beat by Clovis, who's all the way down the list at number 18, is going to hurt Carlsbad's numbers. I would expect to see them drop. And by the way, too, the team right above Hobbs at number 8 is Albuquerque High, a squad the Eagles already beat this season, plus have a better strength of schedule. So Hobbs could make a couple of jumps up top here, especially if they win that game against Clovis on the road Friday. So right now it's Carlsbad at number 7 from our district in the Max Preps poll, Hobbs at 9, and then you drop down pretty far to Clovis at 18 and Roswell at 20th. So Roswell dropped to 11 and 13. Not much of a contender in the Max Preps poll, but of course still the district tournament around the corner as well for a team that is 0-4 at this point, a very young squad with a lot of freshmen and sophomores. Well, once again, final score tonight, it's a win for the Eagles, 60-50 over Roswell. We will be with you on Friday. That'll be in Clovis to take on the Wildcats, 6:45 pregame show, the tip-off at 7. So we'll be there with you live. Free broadcast here on Cool 95.7 on the radio, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page as well. Free broadcast for No Mark Broadcasting. I'd like to thank our sponsors of Hobbs Eagle Hoops Productions on both the radio and the internet, Eastern New Mexico University, Lasco Construction, Badger, Master Plumbers, Divine Energy Services, Forest Tire, Lee County State Bank, TDS, First American Bank of Hobbs, NMR Pipeline, Eunice Pump and Supply, the Hobbs Express, SunGuard Precision, the Bel Air Bowl, Southwest Siding, Windows and Doors, and DNC Electric. Hope you had a great night with us here at Task Arena for the Hobbs Eagle win. We will see you Friday night at 6:45. Thanks to Evie Stuber back at the station. Jessica Friend on the scoreboard. I'm Ty Friend. Have a great rest of a Tuesday night out there.